How's your day?
It's going well. I've been productive. I feel good.
Good.
And we're live. Hooray.
Yeah.
How's your day?
It's been good, productive. Distance estimation side. Yeah. I guess productive in one way or another. Uh,
Cool.
W2 productive, probably not, but everything else productive, pretty good. Yeah.
So, hello, everybody that is watching. I think it's two people right now on Instagram, but hello. So, I'm Jada Foley. I'm a real estate investor. I'm a buyer, and especially in Texas. And this is John Chen. If you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm John Chan. I'm a real estate investor out of Orlando, Florida.
What do you do, investor?
So I do Section 8. I do buy and holds. See, capital raise, PML, PMP, and I'm a helper. I like to help people find their way.
I love it. That's awesome. What got you into doing all of this?
I think it was COVID, really. So I was, well, many things. I had been managing properties for my dad for a couple years at that point, and just running the numbers. It just everyone said real estate is amazing, and judging by his financials, didn't look like it. So I went on YouTube and just Googled how to scale in real estate, and then I realized, okay, now I understand. It's not just about the monthly cash flow; it's also the appreciation, the principal pay down, all that.
Yep.
Um, so started doing some digging, listened to a ton of audiobooks about strategy and the technical part of how to invest in real estate, and then went on a contract in the first 2 months under for 4 properties, ended up closing on 3, but made up for that one that I lost out on with another one not too long after that.
Dude, and how did you find these? What?
Yeah, I mean, I basically went on Zillow. Well, I first had to pick a market, so I started with it was between Indianapolis and Huntsville. I just chose Huntsville because I'd been there for work, and I knew they had a big military base there. So I went on Zillow and then searched, uh, went to the agent finder, sorted from best rated, ascending, best rated, and then looked for anything in the reviews that said investment or invest, and called the first one, told them what I was looking for. Basically, just stole David Green's speech or pitch or whatever, and then he ended up sending me a list of properties I bought. I tried to buy 4 of them, but I ended up only buying 3 of them.
Dude, what the heck? What's his script? Because I've met David Green and he was hilarious, but I never really like looked into him too much.
It was basically, I'm looking for a 3-2 in a B class neighborhood that only needs cosmetic work. Uh, I didn't know what any of that stuff meant. I parroted everything, and he just sent me a list.
Dude,
Yeah,
that's so cool. What the heck?
yeah. It's how you get by in life. Just you find people that are smarter and know more than you, and you just repeat their words, and eventually it happens.
Yeah. And so all of those, did you take them down yourself?
Yeah, everything I had done up until about a year ago, I've been doing on my own.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dang. So you were saying that not everything's about the cash flow. So with those, is it more about the appreciation and principal pay down, or?
So with those, it was actually cash flow because when I bought, it was I think during COVID before everything got crazy. So it was for cash flow that they turned into appreciation houses, which I feel very lucky.
Mm,
But yeah, going back to uh, so going back, they were originally cash flow but have turned into appreciation,
dang.
or now I guess both because they still cash flow.
Okay. Dude, congratulations. That's like really good.
Thank you.
So also for those that do not know you, you said that you just put in your 2 weeks at your W-2, right?
Yeah, so my performance at my W2 has been slipping, and it was confirmed that everyone noticed it at my job. So it was just time to say, I don't want to hold the company back. I don't want to cost the company money. I don't want to burn any bridges, so just put in my notice. And I'm not completely cutting ties because I do like the people that I work with. They're amazing people, but you know, being a W-2 probably isn't the best for any of us. So I'm going 1099 and anyone knows what that means.
Nice. That's more of like contracting, correct?
Yeah, so I'm not like tied to a desk 9 to 5, but I still can do the same work. I can still support because I work in consulting. I can still support my customers as if I'm working at my day job, but it's just I have a lot more flexibility. It's not as stable, and I don't get like benefits. I don't get paid for holidays or vacations, but it's just more flexibility. So
So you're still working with them just as a 1099 employee?
yeah, so starting June 26th, I'll be switching to a 1099. And the question, like why June 26th? It's I think the middle of the week, and it's because on the 27th I'm flying out for a day with Pace.
Ah!
So I didn't want to have to deal with workday W-2 emails while I was out in Montana.
Oh, dude, you're going to Montana? That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to Arizona one.
Wait, which one are you going to?
It's in Arizona. It's in like November.
October?
November.
Oh, November.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry. In Florida, the internet's not great, so cut out a little bit. Well, that'd be fun. I mean, you get to hang out at his house, maybe jump in the pool.
Oh
I don't
yeah,
know if he's still
because
doing it.
Arizona's so hot and almost the end of the year. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
That's fine.
So, what about you? Like, what's your history?
So I'm gonna admit I always feel a little bit insecure whenever I talk to other people, because you have so much experience, or you have like a corporate job, or all these things that I don't have yet. So I was going to school in LA because I'm from LA. I was going to I was going to college for mechanical engineering, mainly just because I got financial aid and I like physics. But then COVID with the lockdowns made me learn online, and I didn't want to put the effort to like really learn online, so I didn't. So when we went back in person, I was just not feeling it, and I went ahead and started looking up more about real estate because probably saw some like 20-year-old that was like, I have a rental, and I was like, wow, that seems really fun. So then I ended up joining Sub 2 because of that, and but I really just joined Sub 2 because Pace said that we help people get out of foreclosures. And I was like, I grew up with a mom that's very like, we're the 99%. And so I felt bad about like being one of the wealthier, like buying houses and stuff to rent them out, because then it felt like taking away a house from another person. So the fact that he said that, I was like, okay, this really resonates. It's like helpful. And so, yeah, I joined Sub 2 back in 2021. I wholesaled. I was doing Airbnb arbitrage for a long time. I was doing multifamily for a little bit, but I think that'll be for more in the future for me. So now I just wholesale and I lend.
Yeah, I wouldn't think that, or I mean, if I was in your spot, I wouldn't be insecure because you have done a lot of different things in real estate. And, when I look at someone like you, I wish I had done the same thing, right? Started way back 15 years ago. So I'll be proud of what you're doing right now.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. That is really nice.
Good, I'm glad.
So I remember when we met, or at least like when I talked to you a little bit more, we were talking one, I think we like actually spoke at Squad Up, and then the next time we spoke, both times we were talking about like utilizing IRAs and stuff. So I think you mentioned that you had like a friend that's kind of going through that. Like, I just want to hear more.
Sure. So I had heard about self-directed IRAs a while ago, but just never really thought that it applied to me. And my biggest thing was, well, you're making all the money, it has to go right back in. So what's the point, right? 65 or 67, whatever the retirement age isn't guaranteed. So I didn't really pay much attention to it. And then about 8 months ago, well, actually about a year ago, my mom was talking about how she wanted to retire. and she had money scattered all over the place. So I jumped on that as an opportunity to move her money into a self-directed account
Okay.
and really figure out how to use it because you can. I saw the stock market right before everything shut down for COVID. I took all my money out and then I watched everything drop and then come back up, even though everything was shut down and there was no business being transacted. So it's like, all right, and then the meme stocks didn't help either with
Yeah.
valued, right? So to me, it's like, all right, well, probably not the best place for your money if it's that easily manipulated. So decided to take her money and put it to use with some friends and learned a lot about how to use a self-directed account. And one of the things that another friend of mine, Ria, mentioned when I first met her was something called, got to be careful with how you use this, but PML, a way that you can use PML, right, way to use your self-directed account to help other people lend on their deals or help
Mhm.
other people buy their deals. But at the same time, having a collective with no guarantees, right? Nothing in writing saying you're obligated to do so. It's just we know we're all in this group together to fund each other's deals. So we're all buying properties using our self-directed account, but we're using our self-directed accounts to help other people buy those properties outside of the accounts and make some today money.
That is awesome. Okay, so how are you making today's money with the IRA? Because so if people don't know what an IRA is, it's a savings account where you can't necessarily touch the money without penalty till you're what, 59 and a half?
Yeah, something like that. Some way out
That's,
there. I'm sure.
that's something. So like it's really meant so that you can invest it and like really grow it. And with the Roth IRA, you pay taxes up front for whatever you're putting into the account. So the reason why a lot of people, like especially us as investors, why we prefer having a Roth and to pay all the taxes up front rather than paying it later, is because most likely taxes are going to be lower now than they are later in the future. And so I want to know, like, are you, because you can't necessarily partner up. I mean, okay, so you can partner up kind of with your Roth or with your IRA, but only kind of because you're non or you're disqualified persons, right? So how are you making like today money?
So I'm not. So the way I would do it is you have a group of people. Let's say there's 20 of us in a group, and I throw out a deal that I want to buy, but I don't want to use my own money, right? So I'll say, okay, I need $30,000 for this house in Akron, Ohio, and it's going to be used for Section 8 housing.
Mhm.
And someone will come in and say, okay, I will help you buy that house. So I'll bring the down payment, I'll bring the rehab, and I'll pay you the acquisition cost, the acquisition fee that you pay yourself whenever you buy that house. And I say, great, thank you, you're awesome. And then this guy, so another person comes out and says, I have an opportunity. I'm trying to buy Section 8 housing in Birmingham, Alabama. This is how much I need. And then because someone else has been so nice to me and funded my deal, I would use my self-directed account to fund their deal. So they're able to buy it with no money out of their pocket. And then
Okay,
it just on and on. Yeah.
that's cool. So it's like a tit for tat kind of thing.
Yep. Except they're very strict about the wording and the explicitness of this. So it's not necessarily like you have to do it, but it's just you're in this group to invest to make some. You're in this group to make a return on your self-directed account. Is exactly what you're trying to do, but we're all just kind of benefiting as well.
Yeah. Okay. Wow, that's cool. So how, and you said that you learned a lot about how to utilize your IRAs and stuff doing this. So like, are there any other kind of like small things that you remember that you learned?
Yeah, so there are different vendors that offer different services, I guess. So the first vendor I used for my mom and my wife, they have, I mean, they were helpful. I mean, I had to fill out the paperwork, which I'm not a big fan of, but they have two different options to fund, to get these things set up. One is just the, I don't know what they call it, but it's just like the base level where the money goes in, right? And then anytime you want to send to invest your money somewhere, you have to fill out another form called the direction of investment form, and then send them all the documents for that loan
Mhm.
to them for approval. Once they've approved it, then they will wire the money. They'll verify the wire instructions and then send the money out. It typically takes 1 to 2 business days, except when there's a holiday involved, then they're a little bit slower. But
Yeah.
typically 1 to 2 business days to get the money out, and they do review all the paperwork for you. So that's like the lowest level type of account, I think, where
Okay.
they're the custodian. And the next level is having a checkbook LLC. I used, I like because, well, the first vendor, they offer that too. It's just an additional cost. The second vendor that I like, they have, it's all in one package. So it's basically, I have a bank account for this money that I can
Mhm.
just go and use it like a regular bank account. Whenever there's an opportunity that I want to invest in, I go in, I wire the money, and that's it. So it's very quick. It can be same day. But the one thing that I like about this new company over the other one is that there's this community that they've created
Mhm.
where you can meet other people who have self-directed accounts, and
Wow.
that's yeah, that's really powerful because there are people out there with self-directed accounts who are looking for people like us who want to invest in people like us, right? So
Yeah.
um, that's the biggest reason. It is a little bit more expensive, but if you average out the cost with doing a checkbook LLC with the other company versus doing it here, it's about the same. It's probably still a little bit more expensive, but that community, I think, is really the power. Uh, is really what makes it worth it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is so cool. Oh my gosh. So now that you, I guess, are kind of switching up gears with your job, how are you going to try to supplement that income, that stable income that was coming in?
So there are a few things. One of them is going to be still doing my job as a 1099, still supporting uh, my team, my staff, and uh, my customers.
Mhm.
So that's going to be one thing. And then another thing was going to be um, really just buying property. My goal is right now I am at 30 doors, 31 doors.
Oh my
The
God.
yeah, the goal is to get to 100 doors by the end of this year, and that's I think that's how I'm going to do it. I'm not
I,
sure yet.
so have you posted about this goal of yours?
I have not yet. I just had to post in the group about converting from a W-2 to 1099.
Mhm.
Um, but one of the things that I really want to do is I want to post more in a lot of the Facebook groups because ever since getting called out by Pace, it's been a different experience. Like
Yep.
a lot more opportunities come up, and then like meeting Kent in person, meeting you in person, meeting a lot of other people in person just opens up a lot more opportunities. So um, I don't know where I was going with that. Posting, yes,
Oh,
I plan to post. I have not posted yet, but I will.
dude, that's how you get. You have like such a good energy. I mean, I made that post about you, and that has gotten more responses than I think like all of my posts combined.
Well, and I appreciate that. I look at it and like this is so cool. Um, I don't know how to deal with it, but it's very cool. Thank you.
No, yeah, but that just means like if you make posts, you're gonna get to that 100 doors really quickly. And I was talking about this yesterday because I saw a video. Do you know who Jen Gottlieb is?
I think she was mentioned in one of your posts.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
she what's it called? She's not an influencer, but one of those like she does like keynote speaking and stuff, and she has businesses. But like one of her main things is helping other people build up their brand. And so she's like, you have to be seen. Like that's the whole point. And so something that she had
Yeah.
mentioned the other day was like post, like force yourself to post because generally if you're posting a service or you're going to be posting about a product or a service, and when you're posting about a product or service, like businesses are meant to be helping people with certain problems. So she's like, if you don't post, then the person that might have potentially gone to you and have been a customer or partner with you, they won't be able to anymore. They'll go with somebody else who may not have been as good of a fit as you would have been. So I'm like, oh, dang, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, that's really good. Right. Yeah. To me, like posting was always, oh, look at me, look how great I am. I know everything. But it's really not about that. It's just, this is what I'm doing. If you want to work together, let's get together, right?
Yep.
I mean, that's the one thing that I really like about you is that it's always about collaboration and working together. I know, like, it's all about our community, but I feel like you've just taken it to another level.
It started off as and what Jesse had put it in the Jesse Taylor in the comments. She wrote a book called Be Seen that's more about that. But yeah, I started with collaboration. From the beginning when I joined Sub 2, mostly because I was so afraid of doing anything alone. I'm like, I don't want to mess up. What if I do something and then the IRS is like, you're going to prison? I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, okay, I know enough where I know I could do it on my own. But then I started thinking about other people that were where I was. And if it wasn't for people being kind enough or people being excited enough about a deal that I had to like want a partner, then I wouldn't have known as much as I have. So I'm like, oh my gosh,
Right.
pay it forward.
Yeah, I mean, and it really goes both ways too. Like the amount of time that you spent with my VA, with Beverly to get her up to speed, um, it's just only a matter of time before we start funding EMD transactions together or transactional lending together.
That's gonna be so good.
Yeah, so I'm very very excited for that. Hopefully sometime soon. Hopefully in the next 2 days.
I have 2 more dates for this challenge. People.
But you know what?
Yeah.
It's better late than never, right? So even if it takes 17 days, it's still better late than never.
Yeah, and it gives me that practice of, okay, I didn't necessarily accomplish this goal, but I'm closer to it because it's almost like a rejection therapy kind of thing. Because you're like, oh, I'm gonna do this, and then you don't get to it, or like, oh, I'll ask this person for a raise, and then you don't get it, and it's learning to be okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, failure is definitely something that I used to be so afraid of, but now just like embracing it, like especially talking to these newer people, and they're so worried about this and that, and like I start listing out all the things that I failed at, and I'm just so excited to talk about them.
That's so good. That's a really good idea. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I failed at a lot.
That's cool. If you ever do a video about it, that would be fun.
That is a good idea. Maybe I should just post something on YouTube. All the things I failed at.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. I mean, one, Alex Hormozy has done it, so I'm like, okay, well, that's how I know that it's a good idea. And then two, yeah, I've noticed that whenever I see people on like in Sub 2 post about, oh, I lost money on this deal or oh, whatever, but this is what I learned, I feel so much like almost connected to them.
Yeah.
Or like trustworthy. I feel like I trust them a little more because they were
100%. Everyone.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's like everyone always wants social media and everything public to be like a highlight reel, but it's not how it is. Like last month, I lost $1,000 on an EMD transaction because I didn't know what I was doing. Right. Well, actually, I lost more than that because I had to pay the TC too, and it's just something that you learn from, which I'm so grateful for, because now I know for the next time, and so now I have those 2 in Iowa that I try to get you to try to work with you on, but now I know, okay, I need to put these fees up front. But then the question now becomes, well, if they don't have the money to fund this, then how am I going to get my reimbursed in the back end? So this might be another time where I lose money, but at least I'm solving problems. Like I'm paying for education essentially.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah. So are you taking those down by yourself or are you working with somebody else on those?
Yeah, taking them down by myself because, I mean, they've been sitting in my inbox for like a week, so I feel kind of bad for the girl. So I'm going to try to get it to work, and we'll see how it goes.
Good luck. You got
that.
it.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah. Well, cool. And what are some last comments or questions or anything that you want to ask before I let you go?
Well, I think a friend of mine, Rocco, was asking about how to build a team long distance.
Mm,
Um, so I can go back to how I got started. I mean, basically just finding a realtor who, in their comments or in the reviews, has something that's related to investments or investing, and then you call them and you ask them if they invest themselves. And if they do, then it's a green flag, right? Because then you know that uh, they have the network to help support you. And if they don't, then you probably should move on. But
mm,
basically, anything that I needed, he would bring me a house, and then I asked, okay, what do I need to do to get this up and running? He'll
mm.
say, this, and this. I say, okay, well then, who can you recommend anybody? And then he'll give me recommendations. I'll send them out. I'll get 3 recommendations, try them all out, see how it goes, and then um, just get started. And then ask him for insurance agent recommendations, ask him for property management recommendations. Uh, Basically, you leverage someone else who's local
Hmm.
that you can trust, and that's all you do. That's all you really do. It's not too bad.
That is so smart. I mean, I feel like I don't that's really smart to actually like look in their descriptions and see, oh, investor, all right, perfect. I know it's like when you look for a title company and you kind of just post in some too, like, okay, who's an investor friendly title company? And people are like, oh, it's
Yeah,
this guy. You're like, okay.
yeah, yeah. Which I'm actually surprised there's not a listing of all investor-friendly title companies, unless I'm missing something. Because I feel
I
like I see that listed all the time.
Yeah, I don't think there is. I'm trying to like kind of build one up, but I don't have enough for me to want to like it's like five. And I'm like, okay, you can just look it up right now. Like I want to make sure that it's like a good hefty list before I'm able to like share it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's something that it would be a collective effort, right? So
Yeah.
you would use all the ones that you use, and then I would list the ones that I've used that I had good experiences with, right? And
Hmm.
then that way it's not so labor intensive for one person.
Yep.
Yeah.
Soon. Soon.
Yeah.
But cool. Thank you for sharing that quick tip as well about the like online building a team because that's so smart. I mean, you need boots on the ground a lot of times. So, and then you're making the realtor work for their freaking pay because a lot of times they won't answer their phone. You're like, what are you getting paid for?
Yeah, they're yeah. I have a thought on realtors, but I think we all have similar thoughts. Yeah.
Like face is like, I promise I don't hate realtors.
Just some, right? Or most. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you, John. I appreciate you coming on. Um, where can people find you, and what is your goal again?
So my goal is to hit 100 doors this year. So 70 more doors. And my best way is probably Instagram. It's Jon Chan, JonChanRei. I think that's how it goes on Instagram. Um, yeah, it's not a website, but yeah. So thank you for having me. I appreciate you reaching out and getting this set up and rescheduling with me. I know sometimes it's a pain, but thank you for setting this up.
No, you're awesome. I'm glad that I found you with the backpack at Squad Up because I was like, oh, I've been wanting to talk to this guy. So it's woo, full circle.
Yeah, cool. Thank you, Jada.
All right. Well, then drive safe. Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody that was watching, and have a great day. Oh, also wait. Lastly,
Yeah.
Juan made a good point. What is your buy box?
So I am currently looking at Birmingham, Alabama, Cincinnati, Ohio, and for Cincinnati, it's going to be in the Price Hill neighborhood, and then anywhere in Akron, Ohio. Um, so for Birmingham, it's going to be anything that has a conversion up. So if it's a 3 bedroom, I want to be able to do a 4 bedroom conversion, um, and then
You're good. I don't know if it's your internet, but oh, just kidding.
Okay, so sense is
Oh, now he's gone. Oh no.
not too concerned about the rehab, just nothing down to the studs. Am I gone?
You're like in and out. But I think if this goes on for 5 more seconds, maybe I'll just end it. Oh, okay. I'm going to ask you for your buy box again. I'll text it to you. Feel free to answer later when you're not driving, and then I'll put it in the description.
Okay, sounds good.
Drive safe. Thank you, Jon. I appreciate you.
All right. All right, take care.
Okay, bye. Bye, everyone.